You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brummel.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brummel, joined by our friend Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
And our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
And he is pointing. He's remaining silent.
Hello.
Hey, Doc.
You know, when people listen to the show for the first time, they might go, who is this Dr. Bonati and why should we listen to him? Well, the reason being is he started off in traditional invasive open spine surgery. And he did that for many years. And he became disheartened because he saw that folks weren't getting the care they needed. They weren't achieving the results that really left them without pain. And so he actually got out of spine surgery for a little bit, and he trained in one of the first groups for arthroscopy at Wake Forest University. And he learned some non-invasive methods. And all of a sudden, a light bulb went off one day, and he developed his own tools and methods in spine surgery to bring about true patient pain resolution. 98.75% patient-reported satisfaction. So don't be tricked into thinking you need traditional surgeries where they slice you down the front, slice you down the back, and basically you exchange one pain for another. And also don't be fooled by places that tell you you cannot meet the doctor until just before your surgery. You should run away with hands flailing in the air, run for your life. You know, when you've tried conservative methods and they haven't worked, you need to seek out true patient pain resolution. You can reach out to Bonati at Bonati.com. We have an exciting show. We have Paul Boardman. He's going to be on to talk about a Trump book.
Yeah, this is a guy, well, it's not technically a Trump book. That's what I put on the page. But
yeah, but they get into...
It's about the economy and things, and
right.
he used to campaign for Trump. You actually found him on LinkedIn.
I did. We had a great discussion.
Yeah, he's an
LinkedIn.
interesting fellow, so we'll talk to him in a little bit.
Our friend Dinesh D'Souza will join us again. Love him.
One of my favorites.
And then, of course, we'll hear what's new in American medicine today. But up first...
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
We would like to introduce to the program Geneva McClendon from Albertville, Alabama. Thank you for joining us on the program.
You're welcome.
So why don't you start off by telling us, were you in some sort of accident or what triggered your spine pain?
No, I had neck and spine pain for years.
Okay.
But it's not really from any incident. It was probably just from my job. I'm an accountant that sits at a desk.
Oh, okay.
You know, day in and day out. I've been doing that for like 30-something years. And I think the wear and tear on that, according to my chiropractor, said that, you know, that's just the way it happens,
right.
just strain. And then I consulted, you know, I went through all the channels, and I do have a fusion in my neck, but I learned then that that is not the way I want to go the next time I have a problem. Well, then I had another problem, and I told them, no, we're not going that way. I'm going to find another way.
Okay. Let me stop you for a minute, because you talk about this pain, and you think it was from all those years as an accountant. Why don't you describe the pain so people that might be feeling the same way, they recognize their pain? Was it a localized pain, a shooting pain, and where did you feel it?
Well, when it first starts, it's just something that you know is not right, very uncomfortable.
Okay.
But then when you don't do anything about it, of course, it gets bad. And by the time I needed something done, it was excruciating.
Okay.
It was where it affected my mind, my life.
Was it in the cervical spine or lumbar? Cervical.
It was in my neck.
Okay.
The L4 and L5.
Okay.
And like I say, I didn't know any better, so I went and had a surgery with fusion, and then I had another one right below it. He said mine was deteriorating down my spine.
Got it.
And then they wanted to do more metal, and I said absolutely not.
Right.
Because that's not working for me.
Okay.
And then a lady at church introduced me to the Bonati, and she had surgery there on her whole back.
Okay.
And And it was like 8 years ago. And I said, "Oh, well, you're still doing well." She said, "Absolutely." She said, "I ride a tractor every day, and I have no more pain."
So that was good enough for you at that
and
point.
I said, "There, I'm sold. Give me their number."
I have to ask you, because you said you had previous fusion surgery on your neck from another facility. What was your motion like after that? Did you have decreased range of motion?
Oh, yes, and I still do not, after all these years, have much motion either way. It's just really kind of locks up on the right side really bad.
Yeah.
And it lets me know that every day, of every second of every day, that I've had that done.
Yeah.
And whereas what I had at Bonati, I never have nothing from it. I never feel anything from it. It's just gone. It was gone when I left that table, and I come down there with excruciating pain because it took me a couple of years to figure out and find out what to do about it. And once they told me, when you leave the table, you're going to be pain-free. And I said, "Oh, no way." But it was absolutely true.
Geneva, you have
when I left that table, there was no pain.
There was no pain. That's fantastic.
Geneva, you have a very unique perspective because you've had traditional fusion surgery and you've had surgery done at the Bonati Spine Institute with Dr. Bonati with patented procedures. Yes. What was the recovery? Thank you, Kimberly.
You're welcome.
I totally went blank.
Well,
what was the recovery time of the traditional compared to Dr. Bonati's procedure?
Okay. Well, like I said, with the fusion, he said about 2 weeks. I could go back to work for 2 weeks since I had a sit-down job. Normally it's 3. I would be off work 3 weeks. And then I'd have to do 22 visits of rehab, which I did. I did all that. But then when I had the Bonati, they telling me, you fly down or drive down, whatever, and we'll set you up one day. The next day you have surgery. The next day you go home. And I said, "What?" And then she says, "Well, and then you can probably take a week or 2 off of work, but it's really not necessary." And so she was right on that too. And I mean, like I say, I never had another minute's pain when I left that table. I had discomfort, from healing, but nothing like I had been putting up for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And I had excruciating pain.
So you've been through the worst, which was fusion surgery. You came in, you had the patented Bonati spine procedures, and you felt immediate pain relief.
Yes.
What was it like for you to watch your surgery? Did you watch?
I did.
What did you think?
They told me that, you can. I said, "Oh, you're not going to put me to sleep." And they said, "Well, you kind of be like in that twilight."
Correct.
So I was, and I kind of watched it. I didn't know what I was looking at, really, but I saw it, and I heard it. I heard him tap, tap, tap sometimes, and then he goes, "Well, how does that feel?" And I go, "Is the pain gone?" I said, "Oh, yes, it is." And I said, "Oh, my gosh, what a relief." It's like, great.
Okay, I have to ask, how was that traditional fusion surgery? Did you watch your procedure then?
Oh, no. I was completely under.
You were completely
under. Never knew anything.
Okay, so all you knew is waking up and that you didn't have your range of motion.
Pain.
Got it.
That didn't go away for a while.
So two polar opposites. You had that fusion surgery, and then you had the Bonati spine procedures,
Apples
which you
and
felt
oranges.
exactly. Explain what the recovery process was like. I mean, you always have that surgery site pain because you were cut open. But as far as the lifting of pain, you said you felt it immediately. And explain the type of activities you did to recoup.
Oh, well, they told me when it was day surgery, and you had to go back the next day. But as I went back, they said they wanted to walk about 10 minutes every 2 hours.
Okay.
And I could not believe that. And I thought, really? It's my neck. Are you sure you want me walking? They said, yes. And so I did. And I realized why, because the more I walked, the more better I felt.
And
well, with my other fusion, you didn't do that.
Okay. So. No. And then you said you had like 22 visits for physical therapy and different. Did you have any of that with the Bonati spine procedures?
No, I didn't need any of that, no.
There you have it.
I mean, I walked, and then when I got home, I walked for the 2 weeks. They told me to keep walking, and build up each day, and I did. And I mean, I was good as new. Better than new. I was better than new. It was great. And I have sent so many people down to Bonati. I mean, I'm working on a guy right now here at work. You got to go. Just quit being. They're wanting him to go in pain management. I said, no. Bonati can fix you. They can get you pain-free today.
Yeah, pain management scares us because it's just that. It's managing pain. You mask the pain, which then can compound itself because you're not getting to the true root cause of the problem.
True.
Geneva, every week we talk to a patient that's gone through the Bonati Spine Institute, and we've heard some incredible stories. But I don't know that we've ever had a referral done in the Lord's house. So that makes yours even a little more special. So based on your experience, if like the gentleman that you know at work, do you feel totally comfortable recommending Bonati after going through both of those different types of procedures?
Oh, absolutely. Only way to go.
Oh.
All right.
Well, we are so appreciative of you coming on the program and sharing your experience with us. Thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
When you walk in their door, you meet Paul, which is a wonderful, wonderful man, concierge, and the whole place is so professional, so friendly. They make you feel like you're family, and it's just a wonderful place to go and get fixed.
Everybody loves Paul.
Everybody loves Paul.
The ladies especially love Paul.
Yes, we love Paul.
Nice. All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We truly appreciate it. Continued good health.
Thanks, Geneva.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is what makes everything at Bonati so special. When you hear those type of results, when you hear somebody so excited about talking about the relief from pain. She sounded so joyous over the phone. I could just picture her with a smile from ear to ear.
She was great.
Yeah.
Doc, I just realized if Paul listens to this show, he's probably going to be hitting you up for a raise because everybody loves him.
I know.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Coming next.
But if you're suffering with an
He has
agonizing
a
pain,
raise every 2 weeks.
well, if you're suffering with neck, back, sciatic pain, even odd hip pain, shoulder, migraine headaches, these are the things that the Bonati Spine procedures can target and help alleviate your pain. Reach out to Bonati at Bonati.com. Make sure you stay tuned because coming up, we're going to speak to Paul Boardman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a campaigner for Trump.
And Reagan.
Yeah, and he's a business guy, and he wrote a book
Yes.
about how to salvage the country's economy that was inspired this past summer when he was campaigning for
I
Trump.
think I know him from
Yes.
LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, me too. And he's teasing. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 50,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Over half our patients have suffered from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Thank you for having me, Kimberly.
You're welcome. And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. And joining us right now on the line, we're excited, Paul Boardman, businessman and author of Ingenuity of the American People to Build a Better Life. He's also a big Donald Trump supporter and a friend of the show. Thank you so much for being here, Paul.
Well, thank you, Kimberly, very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Paul, of course, as a member of the Trump campaign, or maybe former member, I'm not sure if you're currently involved with the Trump campaign, but what are your thoughts on the campaign so far and the election process?
Well, full disclosure, I'm not an official surrogate. I'm an independent surrogate of sorts. I suppose you would say that.
Okay.
I left the campaign to write this book. I felt that it was very, very important. I think that Donald Trump is marching forward to be the next president. And, I watch and listen to you and in your industry. I think he's going to do a great job to help move technology forward and American medicine forward in the right direction.
We do too.
Yeah. So you were saying, Paul, that at least in the email that you sent me, that you were inspired to write this book over the summer while you were doing some of the work on the Trump campaign. Can you explain how the ingenuity of the American people to build a better life is a driving force behind both political movements, Republican and Democrat?
Well, it's interesting. President Reagan, he looked back to Calvin Coolidge at a time of economic despair in the early 1920s. And it was very, very similar what President Reagan was experiencing. They experienced stagflation, high interest rates, terrible economic growth numbers. Today, I coined a phrase I call the velociraptor effect.
Yes.
I call it that because velociraptor, Latin for thief, quick stealing, and that's what velociraptor means. And it's actually the lack of the speed of money in our economy that is stealing our quality of life. So we have plenty of resources here, trillions of dollars, but the money is moving very slowly. So unfortunately, a lot of projects are not being funded. We've spent, $2 trillion federal money to our 700 research labs over the last 15 years. We have lots of patents. And as Dr. Bonati, I'm sure knows, there are wonderful, wonderful projects that are, in various phases of development, and that needs to be unlocked and move forward in a robust way. I think Donald Trump, provides that impetus. So I look at the economy from the standpoint today in terms of trillions. I don't use billions. Everything is a trillion. So, I have in my book also, I call it the top 10 trillion. We have $18 trillion GDP. Let me give you an idea of what $1 trillion will buy. If I write a check for $1 trillion, I can buy the entire 40,000-mile interstate highway system and build a new one in today's dollars. That's $1 trillion. Half $1 trillion is the entire space program from 1957 to current day.
What?
So we talk about an extra $3.5 trillion moving through the economy. That's not right now because of the velociraptor effect, because of the fact that the Fed and what the Obama administration has done is basically stifled the economy with low interest rates, and it's just not moving forward. So we all feel that there are, and even with that. We as Americans have it innate in us to be ingenious and to continue to do that to build a better life, and we are. And you see wonderful pockets of incredible ingenuity throughout, siloed throughout our society. But the bottom line is that we need everybody involved in more of an ingenuity for all concept, which will happen with the speed of money moving forward, and I think that'll happen under Donald Trump. He has a comprehensive plan.
Now, what do you think has happened to the middle class? Because they're moving everything in this country towards socialism. Yeah, exactly. And what do you think will happen if Hillary Clinton gets in?
Well, it's almost institutionalized. I go back to 1620. I know it's kind of strange to say that, but I go back to 1620 when the Mayflower came here, and they incredible ingenuity. They did the Mayflower Compact, and then they did something unbelievable in the time. They actually, in their colony they gave away and instituted private property, and that allowed them to thrive. And remember, we today pretty much have become England, so we're stifled. We're like England today. And this movement that Trump is bringing in, which is similar to what Ronald Reagan did, was to connect with the American people, to interact with the entire country, and to create millions and millions of new small businesses. That's what we do. I mean, that's who we are as Americans. So unfortunately today we've almost institutionalized a top-down centralized government control system where, if Hillary comes in, it will be institutionalized. Of course, I think it'll fail, but, she's not going to be able to spend another 2 or 3 trillion and get us to 23 trillion in debt. So I think it will fail. But I mean, what does that do? That just creates a lot of death and destruction throughout the country. I mean, people die. I mean, you have to understand. People are dying from the Obama experience. They are not getting the health care. Their lives are not moving forward. Tragic things are happening because they're just simply not able to move forward and create a better life for themselves. So
sitting back and watching the last years has been killing me.
Well, that and also a trail of bodies following the Clintons.
Well, I think what's going to happen if Clinton is elected, I think the enormous amount of force that Donald Trump has on his back, on the enormous millions of people that they will feel disenfranchised, I think is going to be immediately, with all the history that she has, she's going to be impeached. And Trump is going to have the force to push that.
We will see.
Maybe she can serve from Leavenworth.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I don't think she's. I don't think she's. You've got 11 days, and if you're Donald Trump, you're you know how to win, and you know when to peak and when not to peak, and he's on a march to victory. I believe that. I see it very clear that from being inside the campaign, there's a wonderful attitude. So much of the positive and energy from the people that are behind the movement simply not being reported.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's going to be the next president, the way that he's pushing.
All right.
Yes.
I'm originally from Indiana. There's no way that, when they look at those poll numbers, I'll tell you exactly how it works here. In Indiana, people, they don't talk about it, and then they vote. There's no possible way, growing up in Indiana, that it's possibly a trend toss-up state at this point. That absolutely, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows their ear to the ground, that's not happening. That's not happening.
In 12 days, we'll all know.
And we all know orange is the new black, so it'll look good on Hillary. Thank you for joining us on the program, Paul Boardman, businessman and author of The Ingenuity of the American People to Build a Better Life. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
We appreciate you too. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Make sure you stay tuned, because coming up after the break, we're going to speak with Dinesh D'Souza. Exciting story. Make sure you stay tuned.
Can't wait.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 50,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Over half our patients have suffered from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us on American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Thank you for having me.
And joining us is one of our favorite returning guests, Dinesh D'Souza, New York Times bestselling author and filmmaker of Behind America, Imagine the World Without Her. His latest film, Hillary's America, was the #1 documentary of 2016 and is now the #1 documentary on DVD at Amazon. So thanks for being here with us, Dinesh.
Hey, it's great to be back on the show.
Absolutely. We always love having you, Dinesh. And first off, congrats on the success of Hillary's America.
Absolutely.
Yes, that was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I know Kimberly saw it.
Thank you very much.
She was a big fan.
We're excited that the movie is now in DVD, so the people who didn't see it in the theater can pick it up in Walmart or Costco. It's also obviously available by digital download. And I have a book of the same title that's in the bookstores now.
I wish it was mandatory that school systems had to play your movie because, as we know, the left is rewriting history.
Yeah, the movie is actually, it's about Hillary, but it tells a much bigger story about progressivism and the Democratic Party.
Correct.
And it's a story that is not only not well known, but it runs counter to what the Democratic Party's self-portrait is. The Democrats like to say we're the party of the little guy, of the outsider, of women, of Latinos, of civil rights, of blacks.
Correct.
Now, in reality, the Democrats have been the exact opposite. They've been the deadly enemy of the little guy.
Yes.
They are implicated in most of the great crimes of American history. They're the party that tried to block women's suffrage. They're the party that enslaved blacks. They were responsible for all the segregation laws in the South. They're the party of the Ku Klux Klan, of blocking immigration, of interning the Japanese Americans during World War II. So this is the actual history of the Democratic Party. It's been kind of amazingly covered up by progressive historians and people in the media.
Yes.
And so the movie, in a way, when you watch it, it hits you with the force of a revelation because you go, wow, if this stuff is true, then a lot of what I've been taught must be completely wrong.
Yes.
Dinesh, you make an excellent point. Those of us who follow history know what you say is true, but we have to take our hats off to our progressive friends because they have done an excellent job of rewriting their history, presenting that to the American people. People actually believe it now. How'd they get away with it?
Well, they get away with it for two reasons. One is that they dominate the three big megaphones of our culture, namely academia, Hollywood, and the media. When you control all three, you can put out a lot of disinformation, propaganda, if you will. And even if somebody knows that it's false, they don't have a big enough megaphone to contest it.
Sure.
The other reason the Democrats have been successful is that they've been very careful to shift the blame from themselves onto someone else. And so, for example, with the example of slavery, the Democrats, after the Civil War, said, wait a minute, this wasn't a debate between the Republicans and the Democrats. It was a debate between the anti-slavery North and the pro-slavery South. Now, even though most Southerners did not own slaves, even though the Northern Democrats defended slavery with the same zeal as the Southern Democrats, the Democrats are somehow able to cover their tracks. And so what they do is they blame the South, they blame the white man, they blame America, they blame everybody except the people who actually did it, which is them.
Absolutely. Now, Dinesh, every time you come out with a new book, a new documentary, and we have you on the show, I always am intrigued as to what kind of blowback you got from the left. Obviously, making a movie about Hillary Clinton can be dangerous.
Yeah.
You obviously weren't found dead in a ditch, thank God. So what kind of blowback did you get, if any?
Well, the thing about it is that when the movie came out, the critics, who generally tend to be not only on the left but the far left, did their very best to sort of assassinate the movie. And they did this by without even seeing it, calling it the worst movie ever made, pure propaganda. They compared it to Hitler's agitprop. And so if you go on the very illuminating site called Rotten Tomatoes, you will see that the critics rate the movie under 5% and the audience over 85%. And so I've never seen a movie that has such a wide discrepancy between what the critics say and what the actual ticket-buying audience says. But this reflects the progressive effort to try to squash the movie, one that was happily unsuccessful.
Right.
Did you have any fear, though, going into making a documentary about Hillary? Again, given last figure I saw, there's been like 42 people.
Yeah, the body count
continues
to rise.
Continuing to rise,
the thing
allegedly.
About the Clintons is that, I went around this block with Obama 4 years ago. I made the movie 2016 about him. He was extremely mad. And I know he was mad. People on social media go, hey, Dinesh, what makes you think the president, who's a really busy guy, cares about what you have to say? Well, the reason I know he cares is because he was raging against me on his website, BarackObama.com, attacking me by name. And then shortly after, the FBI came banging on my door and accused me of violating the campaign finance laws. So I don't put it above Obama or Hillary to try to use the agencies of government, including the FBI, the CIA, and so on, in order to go after their critics. We've seen them do it in many cases, mine being only a single example. But nevertheless, I'm an immigrant. I came to America with $500 in my pocket. I've seen in my life the American dream. So I'm not about to, back down or try to go into hiding. My thought is to basically do my very best to protect the ladders of opportunity in this country and try to keep people like Hillary out of the White House.
Do me a favor, Dinesh. If you're working out, work out with a buddy, because you don't want the dumbbell to end up on your larynx.
You need a spotter.
Because that tends to happen to a lot of these people that are bringing to light what Hillary has done. They suddenly end up with pillows on their faces.
I think this is an important point about them, is that there's a gangsterism about them that is unmistakable. They've been doing this since the Arkansas days. And we see, for example, with WikiLeaks, all these little pieces of the jigsaw. But what comes together very clearly is that unlike Obama, who is at the heart of it an ideologue, he might be a misguided ideologue, but he's still an ideologue. Hillary and Bill are more like Bonnie and Clyde. These are people running rip-off operations. They're happy to take money not only from Goldman Sachs, but from the government of Qatar. They'll take $12 million from Morocco. They'll take money from Russian oligarchs who are trying to gain control of U.S. uranium. So they're completely unscrupulous.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's all about them, and everything else, domestic policy, foreign policy, not only takes a back seat, but it's kind of up for sale.
Sure. Well, it's got to be hard to balance the public view with, your personal view. I can see how they might be conflicted at times. And sense sarcasm. I mean that sarcastically, of course.
The thing that I'm very struck by in this election, and I can already, in a sense, declare one loser in the election even in advance, and that is the mainstream media. Because the media has biased, and I've seen this bias now for 30 years.
Correct.
But the degree of it has reached typhoonic proportions. I mean, I'm just amazed to see the press, huffing and puffing to drag this crooked woman across the finish line. There's absolutely no sense of proportion to it.
Dinesh, you bring up a great point. In recent days, we've seen story after story after story of mainstream media meeting with Hillary operatives behind the scenes. I mean, now the media is taking an active role in promoting the Democratic candidate.
Yeah, not only that, but we know from WikiLeaks that reporters are submitting stories in advance for the Hillary camp to clear them. There's collusion even in debates. They supply questions to her in advance. They did this during the Democratic primary, for example.
Sure.
So this is all very underhanded. And the way and I think that's the defining characteristic of the Clintons, their underhandedness. But it is amazing to see all these people collaborating with them and colluding with them. So Trump, I think, has his work cut out for him. But nevertheless, Hillary's America, I'm afraid, if we get it, is going to be a more gangsterized America than anything we've known before.
Not only that, Dinesh, but something I wanted to ask you, your thoughts, your expert opinion. A lot of people are saying that it's basically a done deal, a war with Russia, if Hillary is elected. Obviously, Trump has a relationship with Putin and Russia, which he gets a lot of crap for in the mainstream media. Do you think if Hillary's elected, we will go to war with Russia?
Well, I wouldn't say that because I don't know, but I mean, clearly Hillary has been, I find it kind of comical, this whole thing about whenever she's busted with her hand in the cookie jar, she goes, well, I can't really be blamed for it because the Russians are the ones who sort of busted me. The Russians are the ones who are responsible for the leaks.
Right.
Look, I'm not happy that we're getting all this information from WikiLeaks. I would much rather we get it from the New York Times or CBS News or NPR, but we're not going to. Right. When the mainstream media is not doing investigative reporting, unfortunately, Assange and WikiLeaks are all we have.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And with the collusion of the media and the Democratic press, as crazy as this sounds, WikiLeaks may be more independent and objective than the press that we're used to dealing with.
Well, it certainly is, and the reason it's objective is because it's actually simply releasing the data. Notice that WikiLeaks isn't taking positions on the data. They aren't interpreting the data.
Right.
But the key thing about the press is that they're not letting the American people see the two candidates for who they are. What they're really doing is they're vilifying Trump and they're covering up for Hillary. If the New York Times, for example, were the only reporters present when Hillary collapsed into that van, I am absolutely positive there would be no article in the New York Times the next morning. So this is not even journalism. This is, these are guys who go around with their media badges and their journalistic labels, but they're not even fit to be called journalists.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Well, Dinesh, just about out of time. This is actually our last show prior to the election. What are we going to see? What are your thoughts on Tuesday?
Predictions?
Well, as of this interview, I think Trump is behind, but that doesn't mean that he can't win. The main question is, can the American people see through the fog, the squid-like cloud of rhetoric that has been generated deliberately by the mainstream media to take the burden off of Hillary and try to make Trump into the issue? Will the American people see through it? The sad thing for me is that we've elected crooks in America before, but we didn't know they were crooks in advance. With
Correct.
Hillary, we do know.
Correct. And her husband is in tow. So all the pervertedness will continue if he's brought back into the White House as the first
Totally.
man.
This is basically Bonnie
the first
and Clyde.
offender.
The first gentleman.
This is a kind of a marriage made in hell. And
Yes.
what the line I use in social media, which I'll share with you, the couple that steals together stays together.
Oh. Let's hope we can put an end to their crime spree
Well, we'll
and
find
vote
out.
Trump 2016. Thank you so much for being on the program, Dinesh D'Souza.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We adore you. Thanks for being on.
Have a good one, Dinesh.
Thanks.
And, of course, you can pick that up. He
Yes.
just said Hillary's America out on DVD.
Yes. And
just
to view
pretty much
trailers,
anywhere.
Hillary'sAmericaTheMovie.com. Make sure you stay tuned because coming up after the break, you'll hear more. You're listening to American Medicine Today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 50,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Over half our patients have suffered from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thanks for listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, along with my friends Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Hello, friends.
And our friend who dedicates so much time to helping the American people with spine health care, Dr. Alfred Bonati from the world-renowned Bonati Spine Institute.
You're taking my time.
Yes.
Well, you know, we put it out there for people that watch the TV show, listen to the radio program. Give us questions, and we will have Dr. Bonati respond to your questions. And we had somebody that called in, 727-495-5200. So, Ethan, why don't you go ahead and play their call?
I have a question for the doctor. I've been dealing with neck pains and tingling in my left shoulder and left arm, muscle spasms going down my left arm, frequent muscle spasms on my chest, my pectoral muscle on the left side, and a lot of stiffness in my neck. And I'm curious to find out what is going on. I'm not sure. I've spoken to a few people, and they have experienced the same thing, and they said they had to have surgery, and that scares me.
Well, unfortunately I don't have your name, but I am going to try to put together the picture that you just said. It's pain on the neck. If it is just only on the neck, can be some ligament, some spasm, or some joints. But you are describing pain that goes on the neck and then goes to your chest, and that is on the left side. A lot of people will have this type of a pain, and they will be very scared because they will think that they are having a heart attack. Mm-hmm. Some of these people will end in emergency room. If you're old enough, sometimes you will go through the whole battery of examination and testing for cardiovascular problems, and will not be unusual. Sometimes you may end with some type of a surgery. When you have this type of a chest pain, the problem that you have, first, they need to rule out that you don't have a 4-5 disc space problem, some sort that is affecting part of the 4th and the 5th nerve that they are giving you those symptoms. At the same time, you say that you have pain that's going down your arm, in which case the nerve that can be affected can be the 6th nerve, the 7th nerve, or the 8th nerve. If it is the 6th nerve, the pain will go to the front of the arm, will go to the forearm, and will grab your thumb. Mm-hmm. If it is the 7th nerve, will go to the side of the arm, side of the forearm, and will grab your index, middle, and ring fingers. If it is the 8th nerve, will go in the back of your arm and will go all the way down to the small finger. Any one of those symptoms, they compound and they make you feel that the whole arm hurts. Or you will be able to identify one path in a specific nerve. Be careful about the problem with the chest, because that can be that will make you deal with emergency room and probably cardiovascular problems. You need a doctor who's going to see that, look at your MRI, your x-rays, and make the proper diagnosis after examination.
There you go.
And if you feel it's something you would like Dr. Bonati to look at, make sure you reach out at 855-267-0483 or visit Bonati.com. Again, we always like people to ask questions and comment. 727-495-5200 is how you do so. Make sure you leave your name and number.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we can call you back.
And actually, we can call you back and let you know, hey, Doc's going to answer your question on the air. So
make sure you stay tuned.
Listen then. And also, don't forget social media. People can leave questions on our Facebook page and this and that. Jeff, you had a diagnosis of your own, didn't you?
Well, no. This is almost embarrassing to tell you guys, but recently on a cruise with my family, I'm very healthy, health conscious. I work out. I experienced kind of what this gentleman was talking about. Tightening of the chest, tingling, and we're sitting on the pool deck. Yeah. And I said to my brother-in-law, I said, does anybody have any aspirin? And he picked up on what I was saying right away. And the longer that it continued, the more worried I got, the worse it seemed.
Yes.
So needless to say, I found my way down to the doctor on the ship. I was convinced I was having a heart attack.
Yes. Really?
Went into the infirmary. They did all kinds of tests, EKG. Wow. They checked my blood. In the end, the doctor said,
you were constipated.
You probably have indigestion. Heartburn or indigestion. But I swear, I thought I was having a heart attack. It scared me to death.
Too much of the all-you-can-eat buffet on the ship, Jeff?
It must, or some kind of GMOs, or Lord knows what was in the food.
Wow. But yeah, but it's so weird what panic can do to you. Even if you know darn well in your mind it's nothing to worry about, just you go into full-blown panic mode. You can break out in a cold sweat, and the tricks your mind can play.
We actually also had, and we have just enough time to play it, another comment which actually came from the television show.
Yes.
The television version of American Medicine Today. So we'll play that.
Yeah, my name is Jack Fergus. Thank you so much for your show on this Saturday evening. I couldn't agree with you more. I thank God that you're out here at least trying to get this message out to the people about what our health care is and how to best enhance it. I was really surprised with the government the way it is that somebody isn't trying to censor you because you're telling the truth. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Curtis.
Yeah.
Jack Curtis, his name was. Yeah. We hear a lot of those comments, you know, that people are like, I can't believe they don't censor the things that doctor says that. You know, I'm surprised that the censors don't come down on you.
We have no censors here at the mighty iHeart Media.
That's exactly right.
Yes, and as we all know, Dr. Bonati doesn't hold horses. So make sure you check us out every week on television nationally on Bloomberg. Make sure you check us out here in Tampa, WFTS. We're in Las Vegas, KTNV. We're in Arizona at, what is it, KNXV,
Don't look at me.
I
think so.
KXNV or something like that. But make sure you tune us in on the ABC affiliate out in Arizona as well. And you can always tweet at Dr. Bonati using hashtag American Medicine Today or a hashtag AMT. We always like to hear from you. And if you're suffering with any sort of neck, back, sciatic pain, arachnoiditis, RSD, migraine headaches, make sure you check out Bonati because you can seek out true pain patient resolution. And even that infamous thing called fibromyalgia, it's not always in your mind. Doc knows how to fix it. You can check out Bonati at Bonati.com. All right. We'll check y'all out next time. And if you're an affiliate, make sure you stay tuned. We'll be back with more.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 50,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Over half our patients have suffered from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.